it's hard for young people now because they're hooked. They're addicted. We have to ask ourselves, what is the long-term, if not the short-term effect?
Denzel Washington, a titan of Hollywood, has long been an advocate for authentic storytelling, often critiquing the industry's shift towards a culture that prioritizes political correctness over genuine narrative depth. His perspective is particularly relevant in today's climate, where the term woke has become synonymous with a perceived decline in the quality and integrity of film and television. This discussion is especially poignant when examining the backlash against Disney's upcoming live-action Snow White, which many critics label as a product of this woke culture. Washington has articulated concerns that Hollywood's obsession with diversity and social media trends often leads to superficial storytelling. He believes that true progress in representation should stem from meaningful dialogue, rather than mere tokenism. In a recent interview, he emphasized that the industry should focus on real human stories that resonate with audiences, rather than getting lost in the noise of cancel culture and identity politics. This sentiment echoes the growing discontent among fans regarding the new Snow White film. The adaptation has faced severe criticism for straying too far from its roots, with many arguing that the changes dilute the original narrative's charm. The decision to replace the classic Seven Dwarfs with CGI characters and to alter Snow White's character into a more modern, empowered version has left many feeling that the film is more about pushing a contemporary agenda than honoring the beloved fairy tale. The new Snow White has become a flashpoint for discussions about woke culture in Hollywood. Critics have noted that the film's approach to storytelling seems to prioritize political correctness over the original's narrative integrity. For instance, the film reportedly removes the iconic True Love's kiss scene, which many view as a significant alteration that undermines the story's essence. Moreover, the casting of Rachel Zegler as Snow White has sparked controversy, especially after her comments labeling the original story as outdated and problematic. Such remarks have not only alienated longtime fans, but have also raised questions about the respect for the original material. The trailer's overwhelming negative reception, with over 1 million downvotes on YouTube, underscores the depth of this dissatisfaction, suggesting that audiences are rejecting a version of Snow White that feels disconnected from its origins. Washington's critique of Hollywood's current trajectory resonates deeply with the backlash against Snow White. He advocates for storytelling that reflects authentic human experiences rather than a forced agenda. His work, such as in Fences, exemplifies this philosophy by focusing on real, relatable narratives that do not shy away from complexity and depth. In contrast, the new Snow White seems to prioritize a modern reinterpretation that some feel diminishes the original's timeless themes of love, sacrifice, and the journey of self-discovery. Critics argue that by attempting to modernize the story, Disney risks alienating audiences who cherish the classic tale and its moral lessons. One of the most controversial changes is the decision to replace the traditional Seven Dwarfs with CGI characters. Initially, there were rumors that these characters would be replaced by a diverse group of magical creatures, which sparked outrage among fans who felt this deviated too far from the original story. The final reveal of CGI dwarfs has been perceived as diminishing the charm and uniqueness of the original characters, which were beloved for their distinct personalities and roles in the narrative. Reports indicate that the classic True Love's kiss scene has been removed from the storyline. This alteration has frustrated fans who see it as a significant departure from the original film's themes of love and sacrifice. The decision to omit such a pivotal moment has led many to question the film's fidelity to the source material. The portrayal of Snow White has been updated to reflect a more modern, empowered character. Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White, has described her character as taking initiative and establishing her own terms, which some fans view as an unnecessary shift away from the original narrative. Critics like Denzel argue that this change transforms Snow White's character from a classic fairy tale princess into a girl boss archetype, which they feel undermines the essence of the story. Washington has articulated concerns that Hollywood's obsession with diversity and social media trends often leads to superficial storytelling. He believes that true progress in representation should stem from meaningful dialogue rather than mere tokenism. In a recent interview, he emphasized that the industry should focus on real human stories that resonate with audiences rather than getting lost in the noise of cancel culture and identity politics. We live in a society now where it's just first, who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true, just say it, Washington stated bluntly, condemning the rush to judgment and lack of nuance in modern discourse. While Washington supports diversity and representation in Hollywood, he cautions against the dangers of forced diversity. In a 2016 interview, he emphasized that true progress comes from genuine understanding and respect for different cultures, not just surface-level changes. It's not about color, it's about culture, Washington stated, arguing that real change in the industry requires diverse voices behind the camera, not just in front of it. He believes that the obsession with diversity can sometimes lead to tokenism and a lack of authenticity in storytelling. Washington's concerns about the impact of woke culture on storytelling are echoed by many in the industry. Some argue that the emphasis on political correctness and social justice can stifle creativity and lead to formulaic, didactic narratives. The woke philosophy, which has taken deep root in Hollywood, constrains the creativity needed for exciting, compelling, memorable storytelling, writes National Review's Jim Garratti. He argues that the obsession with representation and diversity can sometimes come at the expense of compelling characters and engaging plots. This sentiment is reflected in the growing trend of remakes and reboots in Hollywood. As studios become increasingly risk-averse, they turn to familiar franchises and stories, often with a woke twist. While this approach can sometimes lead to interesting new perspectives, it can also result in narratives that feel disconnected from the original material and lack the depth and complexity of truly great storytelling. As Hollywood grapples with the balance between representation and authenticity, Denzel Washington's insights serve as a reminder of the importance of genuine dialogue and understanding. While the industry has made strides in diversifying its ranks and telling more varied stories, there is still work to be done to ensure that these stories are told with the same level of care and nuance as the classics. Another key factor is the role of the audience. As consumers become more discerning and demand stories that reflect their lived experiences, studios may need to strike a delicate balance between social responsibility and commercial viability. This could lead to a shift towards more varied and innovative narratives that explore the full spectrum of human experiences rather than relying on tired tropes and stereotypes. In a landscape where Hollywood grapples with the balance between representation and storytelling, Denzel Washington's insights serve as a reminder of the importance of authenticity in film. The backlash against the new Snow White reflects a broader concern that the industry's woke culture may be overshadowing the very essence of what makes storytelling powerful. As audiences increasingly demand narratives that resonate on a deeper level, it is crucial for filmmakers to remember that true progress in representation must come from a place of genuine understanding and respect for the stories we tell. So what do you think? Is they up to something here, or is there a lack of judgment? Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe to watch more videos related to anti-woke culture.